on the 7th of January in the year 2017, and this will be the fourth time as president he is presiding over the Independence Day parade on the 6th of March in the year 2020. And so the president has arrived. What are the next issues we expect to see, Commander?
So once he gets down, the parade commander will call the parade to attention and pay compliments. You remember I said earlier on that is a mark of paying respect to a dignitary. So they will pay the appropriate compliments, and definitely the national anthem will also be played. It is after that he would inspect the parade to have a closer view as to the personnel on parade, look at their turnouts, and then move to the Perpetual flame stand where he will light the flame. So right after this, we should have the national anthem, and then the inspection will follow.
Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, has just arrived at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in Kumasi, where he will be, indeed, he is the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, and once the protocols are observed, he will proceed to inspect the parade as we wait for the president to arrive and to get off from his vehicle. What's the inspection of the Guard of Honor or the parade all about? How significant is it? What does it symbolize?
Well, it's very, very significant in the military. Whenever you have a parade, it must be inspected, because before you go on parade, you turn out very well. You make sure your uniform is ironed properly, your shoes are shining, and so inspections are a part of military parade. I've not seen any parade that has not got an inspection as part of it, and so being the national one, definitely Mr. President will have to go through, inspect the contingent on parade. He will not get down to check their uniform, but definitely it will give him a closer look as to what they are wearing and their turnout. And because everybody on parade knows that the president will come and inspect, we will all make sure we are in our best clothes, in our best uniforms, with our shoes and everything sparkling.
All right, so the president making his arrival to the stadium. We were earlier talking about this arrival, and that even from a distance you were able to tell us, oh no, that is not the president coming all the way from that, because you were looking out for certain signals, and then we see the signal here. He is in the company of military personnel riding horses.
These are police officers. Okay. This is the police mounted squadron, and the police mounted squadron was formed in 1940 with 7 horses, and their core mandate is to provide ceremonial escort to then governors and now to our president. The horses were also used for escorting the president. The horses being used today we have 21 horses in all, and it is under the command of Deputy Superintendent of Police Mary Clara Agamba. She is riding the horse named Step by Step. DSP Agamba is the first female police officer to head this unit and also to mount the horse for presidential ceremonies since the formation of the mounted squadron by the Ghana Police. And an overhead shot of the entire stadium, the 40,000 capacity stadium at the Baba Yara Stadium, and beautiful scenes here as the president arrives. And so all these horses are trained in Ghana? Yes, they are all trained in Ghana. And in fact, if you need a place to train, just come to Bema Camp, 3 Mounted Squadron. Everybody is allowed to come there to learn how to ride. And riding is a very good form of exercise. So I will encourage the general public to come to Bema Camp, 3 Mounted Squadron for horse riding if they are interested. And
earlier also you told us the parades for the military, but here significantly playing a huge role
by the police. Exactly. You know, the president has just come, is now coming onto the stadium to be part of the parade. And we know that internal security is the responsibility of the police. And so once the president is coming, it's the duty of the police to provide that security for him. It is when the police are overwhelmed that the military comes in.
So at some point in time, are the police going to then hand over the president's security here to the military, because this is a military environment, so to speak?
Not at all. Here we have a joint security force in place. The police are here, the military is here, and other security organizations are also here. So it's a joint effort to protect the first gentleman of the land and other high-profile personality here.
The President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, stepping out of his vehicle, and there he is, adorned in white shirt. Last year in Tamale, he wore a white shirt with a beautiful design of the Ghana flag embossed on the left side of his chest. When our cameras pick him, we will be able to see for ourselves what, and so very similar to what he had done last year. Predominant are colors of Ghana, and then a design of the kente as well. And you were telling us about the kente colors and how beautiful and significant the messages these colors mean.
I was telling you a particular symbol within the kente, which is often used at the edge of the kente cloth, and this is called apremo. And this apremo.
All right, so we have the national salute right now.
Kumasi 2020. Kumasi 2020. Kumasi 2020. President of our Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
National pledge up. I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. I pledge myself to the service of Ghana with all my strength and with all my heart. I promise to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and toil of others. I pledge myself in all things to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me God. Up! Pray! Stand! East!
We shall now continue with the Muslim prayers led by the acting Chief Imam of the Ghana Armed Forces and Imam Alhaji Abdul Mumin Haru, the Ashanti Regional Chief Imam.
Ashanti Regional Chief Imam will now say the opening prayer, the Islamic way. Again, another symbol of the unity in diversity among Ghanaians. When Muslims, Christians, or traditionalists meet, it doesn't really matter. Any of them can say the prayers at any point in time. Sheikh Abdul Mumin is, yes.
So like you were saying, we'll first have the traditional prayer, and then we'll move to the Muslim prayer, and then the Christian prayer.
Right.
And that is very, very important and good for Ghana as a nation. In some countries, people are so intolerant that they cannot accept each other's faith. But we are lucky as a people. And so we need to use some of these petty things to build our unity as a people.
I have seen families in which you find 3 siblings, one being a traditionalist, the other being a Muslim, and the third being a Christian, and it doesn't really matter.
من الطاعون والوباء كورونا فيروس اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الطاعون والوباء كورونا فيروس برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Great things He has done. Greater things He will do. Unto the Lord be the glory. Great things He has done. Almighty God, creator of nations and peoples of the earth, we thank you for giving us this good land, Ghana, for our heritage. We humbly beseech you that we may always prove ourselves a people mindful of your favor and glad to do your will. Bless our land with honorable industry, sound learning, and pure manners. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from every evil way. Defend our liberties and passion into one united people, the multitudes brought here out of many kindreds and tongues. Look, O Lord, in mercy we pray upon this our noble country Ghana. Send out your light and truth, that they may lead us into paths of fellowship and peace. Break down all barriers of contention and strife, and grant that we may live together in brotherly unity and concord. Endue with a spirit of wisdom and protection those to whom in your name we entrust the governance of this country, especially His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic, the Vice President, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, members of Parliament, the Judiciary, and Nananum, so that there may be justice and peace at home, and that through obedience to your law we may show forth your praise among the nations of the earth. In time of prosperity, fill our hearts with thankfulness, and in the day of trouble, suffer not our trust in you to fail. Our Heavenly Father, today marks the 63rd anniversary of Ghana's independence, And so we have met here to celebrate this national event. We pray that the Holy Spirit will preside at these activities of the day so that we achieve grand success. At the end of it all, we will have every cause to praise our name. All these we ask through the might of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Pride! Pride! Shin! Good morning, Mr. President. The 63rd Independence Anniversary Parade formed up by the Ghana Armed Forces, other security services, and the Ghana Education Service. 67 officers, 660 men and women drawn from the Ghana Army, the Ghana Navy, the Ghana Air Force, the Ghana Police Service, Ghana Prisons Service, Ghana National Fire Service, Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Immigration Service, and the Ghana National Ambulance Service. 442 teachers, students, and pupils drawn from the schools within the metropolis, with a mass band by the Ghana Armed Forces and the Ghana Police Service. Ready for inspection. Group Captain Nana Edujemfi reporting. Mr. President.
In the last few years, the president, together with the CDS and the Inspector General of Police, I beg your pardon, will now inspect the parade.
Yes, and the Chief of the Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Obed Boama Akwa, the CDS, and the Inspector General of Police, Mr. James Opombuenu, are his ceremonial aide-de-camp. That is like personal assistant to him, because they are in charge of both internal security and external defense.
So, do you remember ever taking part in one of these occasions? And I'm just recalling having to stand there and wait for the president to drive past you. It was a feeling that cannot be described. I don't know if you have had a similar experience.
I never had the experience of actually being there or being part of it, because somehow I never made the cut during the rehearsals, so I couldn't make it there. But it was always exciting to watch from home and to sit behind the television and hear my father take us through the history every time it had to happen. Very exciting for children.
Teacher Kantanka, I'm sure you have seen quite a few of these occasions.
I remember the occasion very well. During the days of Nkrumah, students were lined up on the roadside, and I was always very happy to be amongst them. So holding our flags and waving when the president passes.
You actually had the honor of seeing the Osajifo himself. And what did it feel like standing there and seeing the man Osajifo, inspect a parade that you were very much a part of?
Yes, because you have been brought up to believe that he's the first gentleman of the land. And to see the first gentleman of the land, you become a bit very, very happy in your life, you write a story about yourself, 1 page in your life that you have seen the president.
That's right. And Commander, you was telling us about the inspection of the parade. The president, of course, is doing that in the company of his ceremonial AD camps, the IGP and the CDS.
Yes. Okay. And then we also have the Forces Sergeant Major. He's in the second vehicle, and he's the person of Chief Warrant Officer Baka Ramos. He's a most senior other rank in the Ghana Armed Forces. He's the most senior of all. Yes.
Okay. And so now we see the president actually inspecting the parade. Yeah. What is he looking?
It's purely ceremonial. It's purely ceremonial, and like you all shared, I'm sure if you're on parade and you saw the president drive past so close, you'll be excited.
True.
So it's purely ceremonial, but in the unit, it's for other reasons. It's meant to check your turnout from head to toe, and also parade in general are meant to test your endurance because it's physically asking to stand in for hours non-stop. But this inspection is purely ceremonial.
And have you had the privilege of being inspected by a president before?
Yes, I have. I think this was in 2001. I was a contingent commander, and it was, in fact, the excitement is beyond description. And then when Ghana...
and Commander, this is what I have been waiting for. I mean, okay, so the president has driven past the security agencies. Now you see him driving past in front of some very young school children and students. And this is what I was asking Selikem and Teacher Kantanka about. The feeling that many of these students will take home simply cannot be described by words. For many of them, this is it. And they have been rehearsing for weeks just for this particular occasion.
And I'm sure this may be the closest a child will come to seeing the president his entire life.
And that's
so
one
it's
of the
very, very special.
It's one of the significance of decentralizing the national parade, the national celebration of occasions such as these, the Independence Day of Ghana. This is the 63rd Independence Parade, and if you just joined us, this is GTV. I'm in commentary position with my colleague Selikem Akolache Apalu. Okay, so we are getting ready for the lighting of the Perpetual flame.
Symbol of the spirit of independence. It reminds us of our responsibility to keep the spirit of nationalism alive. Senator of Guards are commanded by Warrant Officer Class 2 Agbashisali Evelyn. The Ghana Army Guard is Sergeant Osaimen St. Joseph Ohime. The Ghana Navy Guard is Petty Officer Class 2 Ashia Paul. The Ghana Air Force Guard is Sergeant Abeyen Otsnil. The Police Guard is Sergeant Ibrahim Nazar.
Alright, so the lighting of the Perpetual flame, it's one of the very significant ceremonies here.
Exactly. And the lighting of the Perpetual flame is a symbol of the spirit of independence. It's also meant to awaken our spirit as individuals and as Ghanaians to uphold patriotism, nationalism. Anything that you do that does not promote the welfare of Ghana would have to desist from it and uphold only things that will move Ghana forward as a country.
And there we have it, the Perpetual flame, and there is the playing of a sound I'm very familiar with to have been coming from the military. And there we have it. The president has lighted the Perpetual flame, and that's.
It's meant to rekindle the flame that individuals need as Ghanaians to ensure that they do the right thing so that our nation Ghana can move forward. So we need to be constantly reminded.
And the crowd here going ecstatic. They simply cannot control their excitement to be a part of this. For many of these people, this is the first time.
And in your shot now, we have the effort towing the Ghana flag as the perpetual flame is lighted. You know, the flag is a spirit of Ghana. When you go anywhere, you are holding the flag. You don't have to introduce yourself. You tell everybody where you are from. So just as the perpetual flame is lighted, the flag is to remind us of our commitment to Mother Ghana, to ensure that we progress as a people.
Everybody else is seeing the beauty of what has just happened. I am looking at the hard work behind the scenes that made this happen. It would have taken a lot of practice, a lot of rehearsal, and the timing was so perfect that as soon as the perpetual flame was lighted, the chopper with the Ghana flag just showed up in the air, waving the Ghana flag around. It's a sight to behold. The hard work, precision.
Exactly. And rehearsal is the only way you can get it right.
If you're watching us from wherever you are not at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium right now. Just over our heads at the moment, we can feel the vibration of the chopper as it flies over our heads from the position where we are bringing you commentary. You need to be here right now to have a feel of the excitement here. Our cameras will try to bring you all the reactions from the stands like we're doing now, but the emotions, you simply have to be here to feel it. Ashanti region, Kumasi is blessed to have this ceremony come to them, and you can see it for yourselves. Everyone is excited here.
And as we celebrate and are excited, we should not forget that we need to keep our spirits of nationalism alive. Sometimes when you walk into town, you wonder whether we really love our nation. Filth has engulfed us, and so we need to remind ourselves, anything that draws us back, we have to desist from it.
And now that the perpetual flame has been lighted, but there are other activities that the president will be engaging in. The ceremony will continue from here. Selikem, are we able to let our audience know exactly what's coming up from here, and then we'll prepare them for it as we proceed with the coverage?
As we're going to see the security services continue. Some selected groups, including representatives of all the 16 regions. If you're updated, 16 regions now, and of course the Nation Builders Corps, forestation groups, and other banners. We are also going to see the march past by the veterans as the Veterans Administration Ghana. We'll see a cultural display, gymnastics by the Ghana Armed Forces Physical Training School. It
is important, Selikem, to talk about the Veterans Administration Ghana and the members. This is a group that was formed following the riots in 1948, the Crossroads shooting in 1948 that got 3 soldiers who had returned from the Second World War, who had gone there to fight on the British. They returned, and the compensation that was due them was not given to them. And when they were going to the castle to demand for these compensations, 3 of them were killed on the spot. We are made to understand that a lot more of them died later from wounds they received on that occasion. We have Teacher Kantanka here. When the time permits us, we will allow Teacher to give us a bit of that history. She just talked about the fact that, and we'll be seeing them pretty shortly, the veterans who returned from the war, 1948. Largely, it is believed that it was that single incident that sparked off the true attainment of independence, and got Osajifo and JB Dankwa and everybody else who had a hand in Ghana's attainment of independence at the time to wake up and begin to actually push for the final shot to be given.
Yeah, that is very true. What happened after they had been shot, and 23 of them were also severely wounded, and this sparked general looting and misunderstanding everywhere. So this actually made the government of that day, that is the British government, understand that there is something heavier coming from the sky, so that they have to prepare. And this again made the civilians also engage in a lot of demonstrations.
We'll get back to that as we proceed with coverage of this event. But Commander, you tell us. So now we're about to see what's the next thing? Telecom, you have all the details about the program, and then we'll proceed from there. We currently find pleasantries being exchanged by some of the high-profile dignitaries who are here. Of course, the president paying some courtesies to Otumfor, the Speaker of Parliament, and the other invited guests who are here, and we have already informed you. Seated to the right side of the president, standing there right now, is the guest of honor for the 63rd Independence Day celebration, who is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and to his right is his spouse who came along with him. So we're about to see the march past now.
The Ghana Armed Forces and the security services will march off to pave way for the pupils and the students to march, as well as the other groups. And after that, we'll have the gymnastics and other cultural performances. It is after that that the military and the security services will come back.
So, by the right of quick march.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the contingents from the Ghana Armed Forces and other security services will march off to make way for the march past by the school children, representatives of the Nation Builders Corps, civil society groups, and the Veterans Administration Ghana. Hand you over to Madame Cassandra Chumampofo, the Ghana Education Service Head of Public Relations, to continue with the march past by the basic and senior high schools.
Thank you very much, Captain Abena Dapua Dapa. And if you just joined us, this is the 63rd Independence Anniversary Parade being held under the theme Consolidating Our Gains at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the school's contingent from the Ghana Education Service were drawn from the Kumasi metropolis, Oforikum, Palaso, and Asokori Mampo Municipal. The schools are made up of 5 senior high schools, 8 basic schools, and 1 vocational special school. The basic schools are St. Luanga, JHS, Weweso MAJHS,
countries opening
the
way for other countries.
TI Amadia JHSB, Tapo Pampono, MAJHS, Pembe College Basic A, Odumase Extension, and Good Shepherd Junior High School.
So all the pupils and students who will be marching here are pupils and students who have been assembled from various schools in the Kumasi metropolis. And they will be doing the march past. They have been rehearsing on these grounds for at least 5 weeks, and so we wait to see what they have to display to the rest of Ghana. It's the 63rd Independence Day in Ghana, and before we see the students come to march, and of course the GS is playing an active role in this. This is the armed forces,
mass band.
The mass band.
Yes, and it's made up of the Armed Forces Central Band, the Army Band, the Navy Band, the Air Force Band, and the Police Band. So this is the mass band.
Okay, and I just wanted to find out from the traditional ruler's point of view here, how when you first heard that this year the ceremony was being taken to Kumasi, what was the reception like? How did you receive that news?
Well, it was wholehearted. Without asking any question, we had to embrace it with all our hearts, because it makes history. The first time in history that something of that nature is to take place in Kumasi and for the whole of the region.
It's interesting that you are a historian, and today you will be part of history. When many years to come, it is said that the first Independence Day parade at the national level, when it was brought to Kumasi, Teacher Kantanka was part of the commentary team for GBC, and so you become a part of history. And others who have to narrate that many years to come after today.
I was holding the flag, and among those who had lined up on the roadside, and it was even difficult to sing the national anthem those days. Those days in the early 60s, the national anthem was not God Bless Our Homeland Ghana. It was Lift Up the Flag of Ghana.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got to this point, and this is where Commander would have to let us know exactly what is going on. President Akufo-Addo and his guest of honor.
All right, so now we have the mass band in our shots, and the parade commander has called the student contingent to attention, and they have started marching. In all, we have 16 contingents from basic and senior high schools drawn from Kumasi Metropolis and Kwadaso, Oforikrum, and Asokori Mampong municipality. We would also have the Veterans Administration Ghana March Pass. We also have the Nation Builders Corps, or NAPCO. We'll have representatives from all 16 regions. I can tell you for sure that we'll have the Kayayes also on parade today. And so it's going to be a beautiful sight to behold.
The Kayaye, we saw them when they were coming in. I thought it was a beautiful sight. But I had my
distinctively with their headbands.
With their headbands.
So you could tell that these were the Kayaye coming in. and I'm sure that in our subsequent bulletins we'll bring you some of those shows.
We'll bring those, but I have my personal reservations, which I'll express later on another platform. But all the same, the Kai were here with their headbands also to participate at this event. We'll see them, and one of the questions we have is, or do we intend to take these girls off the streets and give them something more reliable to depend on, and so on? These are questions, of course, that will come up. Everything that happens here is supposed to ignite a conversation that will eventually help in the development of the nation. And so let's talk about all these things. But then we have the students marching right now. For many of these students, as we've been talking about since we began a commentary on this celebration, we have been telling for many of these students this will forever be in their memories. Many of them will live to tell generations yet unborn how they were a part of this. Today we've had teacher Kantanka, who had the privilege of waving a flag when Nkrumah visited. Today he's telling that story, still with a lot of excitement and still with some very nostalgic memories and feelings. So many of these, another 50 years to come, 60 years to come, will be recounting the day they were part of this event.
Let me take this opportunity to explain the kind of kente that the president has on his
right. Yes.
That kente tells a lot of history. It is called Ohene Afrosheng. That was made to commemorate the occasion when the king of Ashanti was exiled. British came to this Kumasi and arrested him and took him to the Seychelles Island. And the people who were weaving at that time, the weavers at that time from Bonyure, decided to commemorate the occasion by weaving a type of kente called Ohene Afrosheng. And that is what the president has around his neck.
All right, beautiful. And when the president comes back on our screens, we will certainly let you explain again so that our viewers. And there he is. That's the president taking the salute. And so these are the colors you were explaining to us.
That is, we have a type of design which we call a zigzag. Which means that I am general, I'm ubiquitous, I'm hardworking.
Wow. And so last year in Tamale, we were told that even the way you wear a hat with a smoke gives out a certain message. It's the same with the kente, the colors you wear and the designs on. And so if I am not aware of the meaning of some design and I wear it to a certain public space and give the wrong message, what can be the repercussions on me?
Well, people there who understand the meaning might approach you and maybe give you a new cloth to wear. If you are wearing a whole piece of cloth, you will be giving another to wear.
All right. We'll come to the traditional bit in a short while. We'll now turn our attention to the students who have been drawn from, this is the T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School, my school, and Okuwari Senior High School. Forgive my bias, I simply cannot. And Flying Officer Anas is very much a part of this as well. Also an old student of Amas. This is the Okuwari Senior High School in their traditional yellow and sea blue colors. It's beautiful, and the lines are meticulously straight. These students have been practicing for a while, I can tell.
And at this point, you can't afford to miss. You would have to fall in line because it is a time where you finally get to showcase all the practice and all the hard work that has gone into this. And as they march, then you'll be giving credit to schools and how they're doing and their performance as they are coming
the Sankofa Senior High School there in your shot, and they are in their white and pink,
baby pink.
That's nice. Oh,
and they are being led by their teachers who have been taking them through the rigorous training, and you can see.
And I'm told that in many schools, to select a teacher who will lead these students in this kind of ceremony, sometimes the competition is tough. It can be very keen just to decide which of the teachers, because even for teachers, this is not a small matter, as we say in Ghana.
And the President, His Excellency, will be standing through as he receives all these students marching past. T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School, again, one senior short. And their lines are straight.
Our lines
is also marching through.
Their lines are always
that is the St. Luanga JHS being led by a female teacher. It's important to emphasize in these times of talking about gender equality, when we see women playing their role.
And do you see the feet of the students? It's in unison. None of them missing their steps. And these are basic schools. A while ago we saw the basic schools. We were so
senior high school.
What's instructive is that all the schools that are marching here were assembled from the Kumasi metropolis and surrounding areas, and it's homegrown. Kumasi beyond age, so to speak. This is beautiful. And so on occasions such as this, it's the mass band that is providing the background music to which the march past is taking place. Commander, you may want to tell us what goes into selecting the songs. I realize many of the songs, how do you select them?
Well, the session is done and his personnel, but basically we normally play martial music or patriotic songs. You know, on this day we need to whip up that spirit of nationalism, and so it's basically patriotic songs and martial music that is played, and that is normally the responsibility of the band officer, so he does that in conjunction with his lieutenants.
All right.
Basic school.
Yes,
just
a while ago, yes.
Okay, so this is not my fault, but again, my school.
But this time they are paying compliments, so you can say
this is
to the right.
This is a junior high school,
okay,
and they have turned to the right.
Yes, to pay compliments.
So, and at some point, the leader shouts, "Eyes right," and you can't miss it. You can't get it wrong when they say eyes right. The eyes must turn to the right at the same time.
Yes.
Interesting. And so, who does the training of these children and the students?
A college, primary school, just marching past there. So much effort put into the preparation of this one event, historic event, a big day for people in Kumasi, a very big day for people in the Ashanti region, and a historic one, of course, because it's now 16 regions. If it's going to go around, you don't know when it will come back to your turn again. So yes, the preparations that were put into this were really done meticulously.
And so the pupils and the students, when they march off, they would go and take their seats. You know, over the years, when we keep them there for too long, a lot of them fall off. Some of them are so anxious, I believe they don't even eat at home. And so for this year, we're allowing them, once they march off, you go and take their seats. And that is when the Ghana Armed Forces and the other security services will march on to continue with the rest of the parade. That's Good Shepherd RC Junior High School. cannot stress enough that as we put in so much effort for today, we should always remember that in everything we do, Ghana must come first. That is Odumase Experimental Junior High. These are physically challenged persons, students who were not left out of the fund.
Emphasizes the fact that disability is not inability, because they were also able to stay in the sun and they came early, they've done their rehearsals and they are showing off what they are able to do.
That is NAPCO. Yes, Nation Builders Call. Right behind NAPCO, we have Ahafo region.
That's beautiful shots. The best eye view of the entire event. 63rd Ahafo region is here to celebrate the 63rd Independence Day as well. And again, we have a list of those who will be marching past before the security agencies take their turn. These are traditional organizations also. This is the Ahafo region. Ahafo region was created a little over a year ago, about 1.5 years ago, I believe, when in December 2018, Ghanaians went to the polls to decide through a referendum for the creation of more regions, the Bono region, the Ahafo region, the Bono region ably represented here as well. So we had the Bono region being created, then the Bono East, of course, Ashanti region has always existed since independence.
And the capital of the Ahafo region is Goso, as well as the Bono.
The Bono East region is Techiman. So we see the beauty of the Ghanaian kente, of course, once again in display. These are the masqueraders from
Central Regional masqueraders, Central Region masqueraders. Obviously, you can tell from the activity.
And it's amazing how unique things can be attributed to groups in Ghana. As soon as I saw the masqueraders, even without having to read the banner, that's 80%. And because they have a special festival, especially in Winneba, where you have these things happening.
You have the Manya Krobo cultural troupe also coming in, and of course, typically representative of them in their beats. attire, the beads, and the way the cloth is worn. That is the Manya Krobo cultural troupe. Masqueraders once again on your side. Normally you see them pop up during the holiday season. Oh, and we have the Greater Accra region.
Okay, so it means that all the regions across the country are here to showcase what they have in terms of culture and in terms of their unique identities. We are being told currently the 40,000 capacity Baba Yara Stadium is filled up. There is no longer space to accommodate anybody. Can you believe that? More than 40,000 people have already arrived at the stadium. Every seat at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium is occupied as we speak, and around on the peripheries of the stadium, a lot of people have come together here. The police are pleading with people in the Ashanti region, those who are not here, to stay home and enjoy the scenes from the comfort of their homes, to enjoy the comfort of their...
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I would like to plead with our people in Kumasi that whoever wants to come to the stadium right away would plead with the person to stay at home and watch it on TV. It's streaming live on GTV. The stadium is full to capacity. We're pleading with the general public. The peripheries, as the commentator said, is also full. We don't want to record any stampede. Therefore, whoever is yet to come to the stadium should please stay at home and watch it on television. Thank you very much. I am ASP Godwin Ahianyo, the PR of the Ghana Police Service.
The Manya Krobo cultural troupe. There once again overhead shots. Typically in their waist, high waist clothing, headgear. This should be coming from northern Ghana, the northern region of one of the regions represented. That is the northern region represented in the smoke. So every region here is regions being showcased to the world. Perpetual is in the company of his wife, the First Lady, Rebecca Perpetual, seated to his left and to his right, our special guest of honor for the 63rd Independence Day celebrations, His Excellency Honorable Dr. Christopher Rowley and his wife who are here. And up next, we are seeing the OT region being showcased. The capital of the OT region is Dambai, and that is the OT region. The OT region was carved out of the Volta region, and that is the interesting one. I see that their eyes are covered. I hope. But this is well rehearsed, so they know exactly what they're doing. And the upper west region, in their smokes there. Oh yes, and typical fire display.
Yes, this display of if like spiritual prowess and culture as well, all combined in one. It's about time we began also to look at, as we talk about heritage, especially within the month of March, the month of independence, that we begin to look at the beautiful aspects of our traditional beliefs as well, so that our love for Christianity and for Islam does not make us do away with many of our traditions.
Especially the preservation of our culture in the face of taking on other Western culture and abandoning what is truly ours.
Okay.
That's the Savannah region. In your show, the capital of Savannah region is Damongo.
Savannah region, of course, one of the regions that was recently carved out of the northern region. The Savannah region as well as the northeast region were carved out of the then northern region to make way for easy administration of that region, because it was extremely huge, and past regional ministers had a difficulty administrating a large region such as that, and they are here, Savannah region. Butchers and Livestock Farmers Association, these are a group of people who have contributed to the nutrition needs of Ghanaians, and indeed under the watch of President Akufo-Addo, they have a policy, the rearing for food and jobs, and these groups of people, and the railway line are here as well, and recently we've seen the construction of a railway line ongoing from our Mpakadam through to Tema and other areas in the country, and it's exciting to know that that is being revived as well. The masqueraders, of course, always on parade. The Volta region, the region that recently gave birth to the Uti region, it's here also displaying their unique identity, their culture, and some bobo dance as well. You cannot miss Volta. No, there's no way. Sorry, you. I'm sure you identify with this.
I do identify with it. The Volta region, the bobo dance, and it's done in a special fashion, because it might look very easy, but if you don't take care, you can't twist the handkerchiefs around and get it moving throughout the dance. Interesting to see our rich culture in diversity being displayed.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the Keita port. Saw that a while ago. 63 years of independence, 63 years of the name Ghana. But people have said that after 63 years, what gains have we made as a people? All too often, we have tended to look at the negative stories and failed all too often to see the positives that Ghana has made, the positive marks and gains that Ghana has made in the last 63 years. Internationally, Ghana is acclaimed as an icon of peace and a beacon of democracy. And so there are times that I believe Teacher Kantanka, that we must pause to reflect not just on the negatives, but also on the many positive things that have happened to Ghana in the last 63 years.
Yes, that we are united cannot be left out. It is only unfortunate that occasionally lack of knowledge makes some politicians make statements which divide us. But this is enough to tell us that what is important is to make sure that all that we do is towards unity.
Yes,
Asante has always been at the center of culture, not because they are the only people with culture. All have their culture, and today we have seen culture displayed from all regions. The culture here is strong, and maintained because they were the last to be colonized. Those at the coast had theirs a bit adulterated just because they had opportunity, if you like, to associate themselves with a European group. Culture in them. We are told that the people here did not want independence. This we must learn that it's not true, because Ashanti had to give up its own independence to join the coastal people, that is the Gold Coast, to attain independence. Before Ghana's independence, Ashanti was an independent nation. It was rather the Gold Coast that was under the British control. And when the time came for the Gold Coast to demand their independence, Ashanti met and decided that no, we cannot have our independence when our brothers don't have theirs. So let's drop our independence, join them as a one nation, call ourselves also Gold Coast. So Ashanti became part of the Gold Coast and they fought for their independence. So that is a big sacrifice.
The 63rd Independence Day parade here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Just heard Teacher Kantanka, who is a historian at the Menja Palace, tell us that contrary to some historical narratives, that the Ashanti Kingdom at the time did not want Ghana to be independent, that indeed they joined the rest of the people of the then Gold Coast to strive and to fight for the attainment of independence. And so whoever has that narrative, you must begin to revise your notes at this point in time. We're still seeing various groups. These are nurses groups showing what stuff they are also made of, participating actively here at this independence. These are fruit sellers and producers. Everyone, all people from all walks of life are here, and they are fully participating in this event. And what excites me about this is Selikem, the patriotism. Nobody is being paid for taking part in this parade. Everyone here is doing that on the basis of volunteerism, and so it means that the Ghanaian can volunteer, the Ghanaian can offer service for free, the Ghanaian is patriotic, the Ghanaian, Otumfuo right there, sitting in state together with his wife and other dignitaries from the Ashanti Kingdom. And so I was talking about the spirit of the Ghanaian when the right atmosphere is created for him. You don't agree with me?
Exactly. It's important for us to acknowledge that we have an identity. That identity is something that cannot be taken away from us. No matter how globalized we are, being the Ghanaian you are, with the language you speak and where you come from makes you you. And it is protecting our land, our natural resources, our assets, and defending what we have. And there you have in your short the Kayaye who have just come in.
We were telling you earlier about the Kayaye.
Just before them, bushmeat sellers just gone by, but you see the Kayaye.
And for those who may not be familiar,
they do not need a banner. Yeah. They by their headpants you can tell what they are and who they are and what they trade in.
Yes, these are the Bushmeat Sellers Association. These are not just ordinary meat sellers, but they're the bushmeat. That's the first time I'm having to know that there's an association of bushmeat sellers, and it's exciting to see this association. Then it means that the bushmeat industry can be regularized and regulated, I beg your pardon. That's because anybody kills anything and calls it bushmeat, but once they have an association, I'm sure that they will ensure that we have wholesome meat coming from Ghanaian bushes.
And it also raises the point of having minority groups involved in whatever you're doing, and no matter how little the group is, or no matter how small the business community is, it is represented here.
Let's now look at the kayaye, and for those who are not familiar with the word kayaye or kayayo, simply refers to a girl who carries items on the head. It's headquarters around markets in Ghana, and there is a strong advocacy to help these girls and take them off the streets, give them something more dignifying to do than carry items on their heads like that. I'm sure they are here to make a statement, and these are young pupils from different schools here displaying what they hope to become in future. In Ghana, most children want to either become doctors or lawyers or nurses, and we are seeing that these are our future leaders, exactly. And the president. This is another. Okay, so and you found us laughing there. It's a relief. It's a comic relief. So, Commander, we have the Veterans Administration Ghana. Yes. The Veterans Administration Ghana. At this point, I'll go back to Teacher Kantanka to take some comments from Teacher Kantanka. Teacher Kantanka, you were telling us about the veterans, the war that was fought, the Second World War. What actually led to that war, and why did people from the then Gold Coast participate in that war?
The Second World War, which started in 1939 and ended in 1945, was sparked by Germany. I think at a point in time, Germany wanted to control the world, and they started taking control over the neighboring states around Europe. So the world was alarmed, and the whole world decided to stop Germany from that act. And Ghana was part of Britain. That is, Britain was our colonial master, so wherever they went, we had to go with them. So people were recruited from here to fight at different fronts to liberate us from the German control. That is where we had these veterans coming from. After the war, the pensioned soldiers organized themselves into an association called Veterans Association. It is this same veteran who marched to the castle to demand some rights from the colonial master, where three of them were shot, and that sparked the independence struggle.
And the three were Sergeant Ajite, Corporal Atipo, and Private Odati Lamte. The president conferring with his guest of honor, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Seated to the left of the president, of course, is his wife, the First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo. And so presently we are seeing the military setup.
Yes, those are the physical training instructors who are setting the stage for their physical training display. But before then, let me just add something little to what Teacher Kantaka said. The veterans, those who fought in the Second World War, most of them are very weak or have passed on. And so those on parade were persons who have participated in most of our peacekeeping missions. So most of the veterans could not march today because of their age.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so again, a snapshot of the beautiful scenes of Ghanaians. President J.A. Kufuor, he made it here as well. President J. Kufuor was president of the Republic of Ghana from 2001 until he handed over in 2009 to the late Professor J.E.A. Mills, who had won the elections in the year 2008, and the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, John Boyju, a while ago, conferring with some security personnel.
And of course, the theme for this year's Independence Day celebration is consolidating our gains, consolidating our gains as a people. We are looking back on how far we have come, the fact that we've been able to maintain the peace and unity in diversity, regardless of the fact that Ghana speaks 76 different languages, has 76 different languages. We still have that unity in diversity, and unity in diversity in terms of culture, in terms of other things, as well as our way of doing things. And this year we are focusing on consolidating our gains. What are our gains as a people, and how are we bringing this to bear together as a people? How are we putting our wheels to the shoulder to make our nation great and strong and maintain the peace?
In many events organized by the military, and I've seen military officers display and show what stuff they are made of. I've seen displays and events organized by cultural groups, and how beautifully they can display the culture of Ghana and the diversity of Ghana, but never have I seen such a mix of all activities, whether cultural, religious, and military, and school children come together to provide such a beautiful scene. This is the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, and we have already told you, we heard from the police PRO of the Ashanti region himself a while ago. The stadium is already filled to capacity. They are unable to accept any new entrants, and he has urged all those who are not yet here to remain at home and watch the proceedings on TV, because there's no longer space to accommodate anybody at the stadium here, and that tells you the extent to which the people are excited about the relocation of this year. But this is a beautiful display of some Ghanaian dancers.
From the northern belt of our country is the Bamaya dance, which is performed solely by men. This dance was first performed in the early 19th century to mark an end to a protracted drought that hit most parts of the Dogon state in the northern region. Like Kora and Sakai, Bamaya has several segments with its own name. performance you just saw is the Shagato, a warrior dance from the Ewe ethnic group located in the southeastern part of Ghana. And this is one of the oldest traditional dances of the Ewe group. Originally a war dance performed after battle when the warriors returned to the village. Consolidating Our Gains. The four cross symbols you see are Brahini, which represents greatness, charisma, and leadership. Sankofa, which represents remembering the past. And Gimen, or Round's Horn, which represents humility and strength. For peace and harmony. The Center for National Culture in Kumasi. The trainers are Berima Esumedusechi, the Regional Director for the Center for National Culture, Mustafa Isa, Head of Performing Arts Department of the Center, Kofi Obeng Onyina, the Sectional Head, and Julius Yaukwansa, the Acting Dance Instructor and Choreographer.
And that was a performance from
Next,
the
we shall have
Center
military
for
physical
National
training
Culture.
display.
and the military will now show us the physical training display. So again, what's the significance of such a display on an occasion such as this? But again, anytime we have these scenes, I cannot resist the temptation just to express my own excitement and admiration for the beauty. You can see the diversity. Even though you find a lot more people